Hi everyone, long time no speak. So update for those who don't follow my TikTok, I got married, woo! And yeah, so I don't know why I was going with that. So I asked on TikTok for all of my followers to ask me any questions about the wedding, and it was too long to fit into a TikTok, so I thought I'd open up the whole YouTube thing and, you know, talk on here. So that's what I'm going to do today. So the first question was from Bex, and it was if I've experienced any wedding blues and how I coped with that. Yes, I've had such bad wedding blues, it's unreal. I just want to do the day all over again, and it's really annoying that I can't. We've definitely already talked about renewing our vows at some point in, you know, the future, just because we enjoyed our day so much. So I did do a little video on this on TikTok, but what I'd really recommend is make sure that you've got some time off. I really like the way that we did it. I know a lot of people like to just go straight away on their honeymoon. We had a little bit of break in between our mini moon and our wedding. So we had our wedding, we took a week off, so I had a few days before the wedding, and we got married on the Tuesday and I went back the following Tuesday, so I had like a week off after the wedding too. And then went back to work for like 2 weeks, and then we went on a mini moon, and that worked really well for the fact of we had like time to just chill by ourselves. We opened up our cards, we just, you know, enjoyed time together and slowly came down off that high together rather than rushing back into work. And then we had the mini moon to then get excited for, and we've got our main honeymoon in April next year, and we had always booked it with a big long gap. We weren't planning to do a mini moon. It just happened that we had some flight vouchers left, so we decided to put that into a mini moon sort of last minute. So we always knew that we would have like sort of 6-7 months after the wedding before we went on our honeymoon, and that's really exciting because, you know, we're sort of like in the lead up to Christmas now. We're both really excited for our first married Christmas, and yeah, just we're really excited for the honeymoon. That is a while away, so we've got that time to like come down after the wedding, and then we've got something else to look forward to. So I definitely recommend if you are going on honeymoon straight away, make sure that you've booked something for a couple of months' time that you can get excited about. I do know a lot of people that have their wedding and then go straight away on their honeymoon. They have quite a bigger drop wedding blues wise, only for the fact of they've had all of this high, you know, their honeymoon like straight after as well, and then everything stops and you've got to go back to work. So it's a little bit more of a come down, whereas if you're sort of constantly planning date nights and things like that, like it kind of like goes in waves really. So that's all I would recommend really, is just make sure that you've got a lot of time together. Yeah, so definitely we spend time together, sort of be strategic with your planning of things, and make sure that you've got lots of things to look forward to. And I think just accept it. Like, so I was in denial and I didn't think I would get that bad wedding blues, and then it hit me really bad. So just know that, you know, you will have a few sad days. We both cried a week after the wedding because we was just, yeah, the thought of going back to work, I really didn't want to go back to work. And I run my own business and I love my own business, so like that was saying a lot for me. So I think definitely just prepare for some wedding blues, and just be easy on yourself as well. Like the day before I went back to work, I did myself an entire self-care day. I shaved, I exfoliated, I did a hair mask, I did a face mask, I did a foot mask, I gave myself like a mini pedicure, I did my nails, I did absolutely everything, and I just spent the entire day doing that. You know, like we sat and had a bath together, like it was just really nice. So yeah, so definitely just be easy on yourself, and I promise once like the worst of the lows is gone, then it's just a little bit like you eventually just go back to your normal life. But if I reminisce on it too much, I still get a little bit sad. So I think it's kind of nice as well that we don't have our videos and our like our main album of photos back yet. So like that's gonna like peak the excitement again, I think. So there are lots of things to look forward to after the wedding as well. So try not to get yourself too hung up on all the drop emotions. This is somebody asked when I started shopping for my dress. So 2 weeks after I got engaged. So I got engaged May 2021. We had already booked our venue like 2 weeks after we got engaged for August 2022, so it was about 15 months in advance that I got my dress. The place that I got my dress was Chameleon Bridal in Bournemouth, and they they recommend not doing any more than 15 months ahead, only for the fact of you've got a long enough time to then second guess a dress, and feel like, because there's a point in wedding planning where you do nothing, like you're sort of in this like really weird midpoint that everything important is kind of done, everything's booked, there's all these little details that you can't do until nearer the time, and you're just stuck in this middle of not doing anything. I think that's where a lot of like doubt and things can come in for some people. So they definitely recommended not going more than 15 months because it gives you enough time to worry about your dress and things like that. But sort of like 12 to 15 months is normally the go-to, and the shorter time you leave it towards your dress, especially if you're going to a shop and getting one ordered in for you, the shorter time you leave it, then the less choice you have, because some designers have a bigger turnaround time. There was a wedding dress shortage last year, and I luckily got in before that, but a lot of people, they were adding like 5 to 6 months on top of the lead times that were already like 8 to 9 months. So I definitely say a year in advance is a good go point, a year to 15 months, and that's what I did, and I didn't have any doubts about my dress at all. And yeah, I think my dress took about 16 weeks to come in from me ordering it, so yeah. And then I obviously had to have all my alterations near at the time, but she did just sit at my mum's house for ages. That's her in the background, by the way. She's still in her bag. I still haven't got her cleaned. This question was from Beth, and it was if I had anything specifically that you think that's a must, or anything that you would like not do again. Really, really good question. I really wish that more people answered this when I was planning. So when it comes to what I think was an absolute must for the day, my photographer and my videographer, hands down, I am so glad we put the extra money aside for them, because they were incredible, and I made sure that we got kind of the best of the best, only for the fact of I'm a massive person that I love looking at photos. I love having something to look back on, like the amount that I watch YouTube, TikTok and things like that of other people's weddings. So I really wanted someone that could film it and just capture the essence of the day, because there's a lot of the day that you miss. I didn't see Andy get ready because we didn't get ready together. I didn't see all of the guests arriving. I didn't see, Andy saw it, I didn't. Obviously I walked down the aisle when we were off doing our photos. I missed all the like people dancing and things like that for like sections. So it's kind of nice having a videographer that captures little bits that you miss. And photos, photos are a given. I just absolutely love my photographer. Her name's Laura Dean Photography, if anyone wants to know. She did our engagement, she also did our wedding, and I would pay 10 grand if her prices were that, just for her photos, because she's incredible. So yeah, I definitely recommend. And I was on the fence about a videographer, but I looked at a lot of different wedding blogs, and a lot of people were saying how important their videographer was, and how if they didn't have a videographer they regretted it. And looking back now, I know I would have regretted if I didn't get a videographer, so that's personally for me anyway. When it comes to things like not needed, to be honest, our wedding was pretty simple, I guess. Everybody absolutely loved everything about our wedding, from the s'mores in the evening to all of our food. I definitely think the food was the biggest centre point of our day. Like, we've had so many reviews about all of our food, so I'm so glad that we put the money in for the canapes, the 3-course meal, pizza in the evening, and we also made s'mores packets. So food was kind of one of the things that we also think is really important. When it comes to things that I regret, if I'm quite honest, the whole day was absolutely perfect, so I don't actually regret buying anything. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, as I said, we kept it kind of slimmed down. Like, we only had a DJ for the evening. I just did a Spotify playlist for the rest of the day. Our venue was drop dead gorgeous. If I'm all honest, and I thought I would come away with a lot of regrets for some of the stuff, but I think because I did the centerpieces myself, I did the invites myself, I did the order of the day / fans myself, packaged up the confetti myself, dried the flowers myself. I did a lot of it myself, so I think there's a little bit of pride in that as well. But from reviews from everybody and from us, I wouldn't have changed a thing about my day, so there's actually nothing that I would regret, really. Yeah, weddings are expensive, but I'm glad we spent the money that we did for it. So yeah, I'm sorry that doesn't really help with with what I regret, but that's just my personal opinion. It was the most amazing day, and we cut out on a lot of things that we knew we wouldn't want to begin with, so I don't think we had any regrets. So the big one is how much we spent on our wedding day. I knew this was going to come up. So I'm really, really lucky the fact that my parents, through inheritance and things like that, had some money saved aside for us. And we didn't want to use the whole of it, but we soon realised how expensive weddings were, so we did use the whole of it. My parents gifted us £15,000, which was extremely kind of them. We had paid for a few little bits of that as well. The reason why it was so high was the fact of what I saved in doing everything myself, like the invites, the centerpieces, all of the flowers and things like that. The money that we saved from hiring a florist and getting someone professional in to do, we then put that money towards our videographer and our photographer. So at the time, my photographer, including a second shooter, was about £2,000, and then the videographer was also another like 1,500, 600. So they were our most important. Food is the big thing. I wasn't expecting how expensive food was going to be, so we had to cut down a lot of people that were originally on our day guest list to the evenings to try and like lessen the cost of food, because all in all I think food was about £4,500, which is ludicrous, but the food was incredible, so we can't really complain. So our parents massively helped us out, and that was the only way that we were able to get married this year, otherwise we would have been saving for a good few more years. That's the only reason why we got married in 2022 rather than 2025. Okay, someone asked any advice for the wedding morning. I have so much advice. So much! When we got to the... so we stayed in a cottage before the night before. So me and the girls watched Bridesmaids, and then I got to bed early. I definitely would say before you go to bed the night before, get everything out that you need. I forgot to put in my mum's wedding, like, earrings. So I didn't have any earrings in on the day because I left them in my wedding box, and I completely forgot about it because I was rushing around. So get out your perfume, get out any jewellery that you've got, get out your bouquet, just line everything up that you need to have on you on the day, and obviously your dresses, you won't forget your dress or your veil or anything like that, but just put everything out and put it all set up, so then once you've done your hair and your makeup, you can just go straight into getting everything else on, because I'm really gutted that I forgot my mum's pearl earrings that my dad got her for her pearl anniversary. I didn't have any earrings in on the day, and I didn't have any other jewellery apart from my rings, so I was like, oh, I'm missing them, and my mum told me like literally in the evening because she realised we'd forgot them, but yeah, that's annoying. So definitely set everything out the night before, so then that you wake up in the morning and you know where everything is, because especially if you're like me and you're more likely to stress, it's just nice to have that, you know that where everything is. Apart from that, just really soak in the day. The morning we started really early because I did my bridesmaid's makeup, and it started really, really early, and it was slow, so slow, and I was like, what everyone says, the day rushes by, like, I'm bored. And then the hairstylist came and the makeup artist came for me, and then all of a sudden it hit about 10 o'clock, and then all of a sudden it was 1, and the days like whizzed by, and I promise you when I say that I was a little bit stressed, but the time went so quickly I didn't have enough time to be stressed, if that made sense, because everyone was just surrounding me. Like, I was having my hair done, I was having my makeup done, and the bridesmaids were going off to get their dresses, and my mum was helping me into mine, and the day just kind of like snapped through. I actually saw Andy the morning of the wedding. We gave each other gifts. I gave it to my maid of honour to give to Andy, and then when I read his card, I wanted to go see him because I bawled my eyes out at his card. And I sat in his part of the cottage because we had like 2 terrace cottage, so I was in here and he was in here with his groomsmen. So they weren't even up yet, the groomsmen, because men don't take long to get ready. And I went into him, we both had a cry together, had some cuddles, we were both in our pyjamas, and then I went back to carry on getting ready. So I know it's not traditional to see them, like, but we're not a traditional couple, but I promise you, when I saw him that morning, every anxiety I had for the entire day melted away. Like, absolutely, I was not worried. Like, I was worried about walking down the aisle, and I was nervous, but like anxiety wise, and like stress wise, I was good. As soon as I saw him, I was so good, and I didn't want to leave him either. That was the hardest part of, after we'd had sort of like some cuddles and some hugs and things, I didn't want to go back and get ready because I was like, I just want to stay with you all morning. Going back to the regret video, if I was thinking about it now, I absolutely loved getting ready with my girls and I would change nothing about that. However, I've seen a lot of things now where people, like the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and the bride and groom, get ready all in one place. And that's what I would do. If I was to do it again, we would get ready all in the same room. Just for the chilled out part of it and just getting excited. Obviously, like not him seeing my dress beforehand, but like the hair and the makeup part of it, I would have happily just been all in the same room for it. So that's that really. Okay, so Sasha asked about finding the one of your wedding dress. Don't be nervous to go shopping. It's meant to be so exciting, and I completely get why you're nervous because it seems like such a big thing. I promise once you start trying on dresses, you'll just really love the experience. Make sure that you go to a bridal shop that you already like the dresses that are already there. Majority of them will have them on their website. They also will have a rough, I mean they should anyway, have prices. If they don't have prices, then I personally wouldn't have gone. Chameleon Bridal, where I went, the girls were so lovely. They made me feel so body positive and were just incredible, like just from start to finish. So my bridal dress shop asked me to send them 4 gowns that I liked the look of online, and they got them out ready for when I arrived, and then they pulled gowns as and when what I wanted to see. So like I just like finding the one, and everyone's different, and the girls did tell me that everyone's different. I was trying on all of these other dresses and they were lovely, like don't get me wrong, like I loved them, but I was like, they're nice, like yeah, that's lovely. And Sophie, who is my dress consultant, went, we're not looking for nice and lovely, we're looking for this is my dress. And I was like, I don't know whether I'm going to feel that though, and I was getting really stressed out. So I was on about my 7th dress and I was this close to just going, you know what, we'll do it another day, like I'm not sure what I'm meant to be feeling. And Sophie comes in and she's like, I have this dress and it's £99 out of your budget, however I think it's going to be everything you're looking for. And I was like, if I'm spending this much money, £99 is not going to bother me at all. She brought this dress in, and I'm not even joking, all I did was step into it and put the straps around me and I burst into tears. Like I was so emotional. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm not really one to cry in public either, so I was like, this is very uncharted territory for me. And that's how I knew it was the dress, but I wasn't expecting to be emotional, and I don't think many people do. But it's also okay if you're not emotional about it. Like, don't take this as you need to cry at a dress. Like, you should just feel comfortable and beautiful. Like, they're the only 2 requirements that you need. Make sure the dress is completely comfortable. You can sit down in it comfortably. You can slouch in it comfortably. All you need is just the comfort, and then just to feel beautiful. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And if you're taking people with you and you know they're going to be opinionated, don't take them with you. I took my mum and my nan, and yeah, that was all I needed really. And they were good. My nan stifled any of comments, because you know what old people are like. And yeah, it was the best day. So just let yourself off the hook. If you've not even tried them on yet, how do you know how you're going to feel? So just go, and go without any expectation as well. Just book a dress appointment, walk into a dress shop. You don't have to commit. You can walk out. You can have plenty of appointments at different ones, but try your best not to shop around too much, because then you'll get confused. So like 2 to 3 shops at absolute maximum, and make sure that each shop you try on different styles, rather than sort of trying on the same style at loads of different shops and then getting confused. That's my sort of only advice really, and I promise you will know which is the one, because it will feel right and you can just picture your day in it. Okay, so Han asked about the giving notice. I was super nervous too, don't worry. I was so nervous I forgot my own date of birth. They asked me for my date of birth and I said 5th of the 6th, 97, and then they asked for Andy's date of birth and I was like, oh, 5th of the 12th, 91. And then I was like, I've said something wrong and I can't tell what, and she printed it out and I was looking at my date of birth going, that doesn't look right. And then I realised I'm born on the 15th of June, not the 5th, but I was so focused on Andy's 5th of the 12th that I said 5th for myself as well. So they asked us each other's names, each other's date of birth, each other's what they do for a job. Had to say what my parents did for a job, what Andy's parents did for a job, and that was pretty much it, to be honest. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. I promise you, and they will only ask you questions that you know, and yeah, so don't fret about it. It's just to make sure that you're not getting into a forced marriage, and if you were getting into a forced marriage, you wouldn't know each other's date of birth, you wouldn't know their job title, so just, you know, just chill. You know, go through addresses and things like that. I can't fully remember what else they asked me. I feel like they asked me something else. But yeah, that was the only thing really, and they know that you're nervous, and the lady that I had was absolutely lovely, so try not to be too nervous. They're going to ask you all of the questions that you know already. Shannon asked, did I get stressed doing a lot of it myself, or am I glad I did? I'm so glad I did. Honestly, nothing competed to the day before we all went for a rehearsal, and I looked in the marquee, and the menus that I designed, and the boxes of s'mores that we packaged up the night before, and my centerpieces, everything was laid out exactly how I pictured it in my head but hadn't actually said out loud to anybody. And I looked at the whole room and went, I did that. And it was so, like, I'm such a control freak anyway, so like that was all I needed. But honestly, I would not, like, I wouldn't change anything about me doing it myself. I did get a bit stressed now and again, because I was like, oh, I just want this to be really nice. But once I started to realise that the only people I needed to impress was myself and Andy, it then let so much stress off, and I really didn't care what anybody else thought of my day. The sun is coming round, so yeah, I'm gonna be on this corner. So Olivia asked, is there anything to keep your stresses at bay? Schedule in a self-care day. I find that self-care really helps me, whether it be going to the gym to get your stresses out, whether it be having a full-on pamper day. Just, that's the only way that I manage to do it, and I tried my best to do one every Sunday, so I just made it a routine, and I also made that a day that we wouldn't speak about the wedding, so I think that's really important, otherwise the wedding just crops up in every conversation and it stresses you out more. So they're the two things that I did anyway. He said, exciting, you're getting married in New York. Yay, that sounds so cool. So with the New York passport, you can apply to it up to 3 months beforehand. I would do the absolute maximum, make sure that you get the part signed by your registrar to send off with it. Obviously my passport came back super late, so I don't know whether I could deal with the stress of it not coming back before the wedding personally, because obviously you have to send in your old passport too, so you wouldn't actually have a passport until it came back. It's completely up to you. I got extremely stressed for our mini moon for the fact that I had to go and pick up my passport the day before we flew. So I personally don't think it's worth the stress to travel in your married name. I know it's super nice too. It's up to you. If the passport wait time comes down, because when I applied it was 10 weeks and it took 11 weeks for mine to come back. If the passport time has gone back down to 6 weeks, I think A-OK, start it at 3 months before and then do it, and it should come back to you. It's just whether you want to have the added stress of it not coming back. If you do apply for it, just apply 3 months beforehand for an express one. Just pay the extra, please just do it, just to save yourself the stress. But you can do it, and it would hopefully get to you before you go out. Although if you're flying out to get married, that's an interesting one. I didn't even think of that. If you're flying out on your maiden name and want to come back with your new name, if that's the case and you're flying out maiden and then coming back, then I would just travel in your maiden name both ways. I don't think it's worth the stress, because also they wouldn't be able to get it to you over in New York. That's what I would do, which I know sucks because everyone loves a boarding pass with their new name on, but I think just for the stress of it, it's not really worth your time, babes. I'm sorry. So you're changing your numbers and you've already sent out invites, so this is really tricky. However, it is your day, so don't feel like you need to explain yourself to anybody. All you need to say is, I'm super excited about this new venue. Unfortunately, it doesn't carry the seating plan as what we were planning originally when we invited you. And for that reason, I regret to inform you, like, I'm so sorry that we're gonna have to revoke your invite. We're hoping to maybe do a barbecue, or like just give them hope that they'll be able to see you as like a celebration still. So be like, you know, we're hoping next summer to do a big barbecue to celebrate with everybody who would have been able to make it, but unfortunately we're keeping it really intimate with close family and friends, like immediate family and friends. That's how I would handle that, and just say how excited you are for your new venue. And majority of people, if they're not dickheads, are gonna be like, absolutely fine, you have the day that you want. Just don't be apologetic for it. Own it. If that's what you want for your wedding, that's what you're getting for your wedding. And people can like it or lump it. And the thing is, the people that kick off about it shouldn't really be in your life anyway. I think that was everybody. I'm sorry if I've missed anybody out. I'm now almost late to my marketing event. Yeah, I will chat to you at some other point. If you have any more questions, list them below from anybody about the wedding, and I will do a second part of this Q&A. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Nice chatting to you, and I'll see you later. Bye!